What it do, baby? Make surprises. One of the more surprising moments from the weekend. Chris Paul on the receiving end of a Russell Westbrook lob. Perk, did you know he could
Absolutely.
do this?
Listen, Rachel, CP is...
Look at that face.
He's class of 2003, Mickey D's class. We know CP could get up, and he's under the Thunder organization right now. I'm telling you, they put an extra 5 inches on your vertical like they did me at one point in my career.
There you go.
And here's the plant-based diet.
Right,
Because
yes.
Jay Adonde was tweeting about this last night.
That's no joke. That
Good
Chris
for
said that
Chris
he couldn't
Paul.
do this a couple years ago,
Good
and
for
he's
Chris
back
Paul
to be able to
for
do it.
making it happen. And Rach, he is a big reason, you mentioned it, why the game got so much more competitive. So
Yep.
a good weekend for Chris.
Yep, he not only recommended the change, but he personally was competitive. Stop me if you've heard that before about Chris Paul. Miss inhibitions. We saw 2 half-court makes this weekend, one from Trey and one from Luka. Should the NBA stop giving guys a missed shot if they attempt a last-second heave? Because I think we'd like to see more guys try that and less just dribble the ball out.
Teams should stop worrying about in contract negotiations. They should delete these from the record. Because
Right.
I think that's what messes guys up.
I'm
so let
sorry,
it fly.
Kendrick, have you ever heard a team delete something in a contract
Absolutely
negotiation that would help
not.
the team?
They hold everything against you.
Yep.
I'm running to the bench with the ball. Look at Steven Adams. You see Big Steve?
That's amazing. These are really fun. And I did like, by the way, the one in the Rising Stars game because Luka over Trey, that's a great relationship. And the two of them leaning in together to see if the ball would fall was fantastic. Make misses at the end of the Rising Stars game. Ja and Zion tried to put on a dunk show. They missed every single one of them. I was upset that Ja Morant wasn't in the dunk contest, but maybe it was for the best.
Listen, you know what? Even their misses is impressive. Like, even when they miss, they're impressive.
No,
But
that's fair.
I tell you what, those two guys are very mature, and they got a lot of courage. But, Ja, you got to finish there. Oh, look at Zion. I wish I had them hollers.
Rach, we need him in the dunk contest.
Yes, and by the way, this
We need
is
'em.
great. The fact that they are just doing this, banging around on that stage, which was a huge stage even Friday night. I like that because I think that we're not getting these guys in the dunk contest because everyone's afraid to mess up. And just, go out and have some
I'm
fun.
just
We'll
jealous.
have a little fun with you.
I'm just jealous God ain't blessed me with those hops.
None of us, Bert. None of us. Miss security, crunch time last night. Embiid grabbing the LeBron miss. Kawhi swoops in, rips it out of his hands. How does he make that look so easy, Bert?
That's grown man right there. That's Kawhi.
Look at that.
That's Jordan type. That's that Jordan defense. Let me
That's
get
it.
that.
The claw is going to claw.
Let me get that.
The claw is going to claw.
Look at
Look
him.
at that. Well, that was a Michael Jordan thing.
That's
He made that mistake with his first #1 overall draft pick as a manager with Kwame Brown. He said the biggest thing is that he didn't realize Kwame couldn't palm a basketball. And ever since then, he said that every player he drafted as an executive or owner had to be able to palm a basketball because to him that was such an essential part of the game, obviously with Kawhi.
You know what, Rachel? I got a little kid on my team play with my son Kingston named Caden. He snatched the ball like that.
Woo! Well,
All
can
the
he do
time.
that? LeBron on the break with a little fake behind the back. Kobe did a similar move in the 1998 All-Star game, and there was so much Kobe influence everywhere. LeBron told me that every time he looked up there, that number 24 was staring at him in the back of some other jersey.
I was watching on TV, Rach, and every time I'm watching somebody go up for a shot, I'm going, wait,
Right.
Kobe? I mean, that part was very cool.
Yeah,
The NBA hit on so many different levels, and LeBron has been so good in the last few weeks at carrying out all the different things he's had to do. I thought that was especially a great moment for him.
And by the way, not just for Kobe Bryant, but David Stern, too, was mentioned all throughout the ceremony
Absolutely.
the whole weekend. And when you talk about, hey, he would have wanted it to be a competitive game, that's true of Kobe. Kendrick, that's true of David Stern, right?
Absolutely.
That man
for
got
sure.
what he wanted.
He did. He put his foot down also. But you have to give a lot of credit to Adam Silver, too, because, one thing I love about Adam Silver is that he's open-minded. He listens to suggestions from players. He's one of the commissioners that players can actually pick up the phone and call.
Yes.
And he'll answer and listen to you.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
I love
When
Adam
you think of the respect that the NBA players have for Adam Silver right now, and you compare that to where NFL players are with Roger Goodell, where baseball players are with Rob Manfred, and where hockey players are with Gary Bettman, Adam continues to show why that relationship has maintained itself since he came to
That's
power.
why the NFL tried to steal him from us
That
2
is
years ago.
absolutely true. And guess what? Didn't work.
It's not
All
gonna
right.
happen.
In the middle of the All-Star game, we got some breaking news. Adrian Wojnarowski, Brian Windhorst reporting that a change may soon be coming in Cleveland. John Beilein and the Cavs have discussed the possibility of him stepping down before the season resumes later this week. The story said, quote, "It has become increasingly apparent to the front office and the coach that the partnership is headed to an inevitable split," league sources told Woj and Bryan. The story goes on to say friends and associates of Beilein have described him as unhappy, even miserable with the move to the Cavaliers, unquote. So Beilein and the Cavs, 14-40 perk. That's the second worst record in the NBA. With the news out there that this is already being considered, does Beilein kind of have to now go ahead and resign? Can he come back to that team considering this is all
No,
out
he
there?
has to go. He has to pack his bags and go. And listen, Rach, you remember when the season started, I was on this show, and I was not a fan of that hire. For the simple fact, when you rebuilding and now it's a players' league, you have to go young. You have to go get a Damon Stoudemire who's doing well at Pacific, or even give a guy like Earl Watson another shot that'll come in and fit the culture. These are young guys. It's not college. It's different. And I know Coach Beilein, he'll get another job in college. I think that's where he fits perfect at.
The amount of stories that were coming out from the beginning of players being unhappy, and then Woj had that report a few weeks back about him saying thugs and not slugs in a meeting. It was over. There's no coming back from that, especially when you're losing at this level. So this was always what appeared to be coming. It's just coming faster than I think anybody thought.
Well, they've got J.B. Bickerstaff on that coaching staff. I would certainly expect if Beilein does step down, that's who we will see. And players already there's been a lot of reporting, like to go to J.B. anyway. Obviously, he has head coaching experience.
Absolutely.
So we will see how all of that plays out. Coming up, we had such a good dunk contest over the weekend. It had such a controversial finish, though. We will discuss what we would change. Stay tuned for that. We'll put up all the numbers, too. We're going deep dive. Jump analysis is coming up. I'm Rachel Nichols, and what you just saw was one of the best slam dunk contest duels we have ever seen. Aaron Gordon and Derrick Jones Jr. put on such a show, it required 2 tiebreaker rounds. The second round, of course, ending with a little bit controversy we will get to in a moment. But I also wanted to mention Jones Jr. earned himself a multi-year shoe and apparel deal with Puma after he won. So, you know, go get your dollars, young man. For now, though, Kendrick, I want to know, just going on the straight dunks. We'll get to the judging in a minute. But if you were going to judge, who had the most impressive dunks?
Aaron Gordon. I mean, to be in the dunk contest for 3 years, you know what I mean, and come out, and this is his 3rd year, and he's creative and showing us something new every year. I was more impressed by this guy. Every dunk he did, I was like, wow. Like, he scored 47 out of, what he had, 7 points out of, I mean, what he had? Yeah.
Well, so he had 5 straight 50s.
Yeah, a lot of 50s.
5 straight 50s.
He had
And
a
then
lot
on the
of
last
50s.
dunk, they penalized him for grazing tackle falls head.
I mean, he impressed me, like, through the roof. I mean, I'm with him all day.
Aaron Gordon was awesome. Derrick Jones Jr., though, had some unbelievably awesome dunks. He was so athletic in what he did. But this is the issue. You could nitpick on all of this. These guys both deserve to win.
Oof, look at that.
2 days later, they both deserve to win. I did not think one guy was that much better than the other guy.
Right.
And that's the issue.
Right. Well, look, I mean, the idea of this is it should be excellent, and you should have to pick one of them. I'm okay
Yes.
with someone winning. I would have liked, just because of the degree of difficulty of jumping over taco fall and not even planning to do it. I mean, it was right in that corner where those guys were standing. And he was there was a groundswell among the players who were standing there being like,
Yeah,
taco,
you were right there.
taco,
You were
taco.
right there.
This wasn't something that was planned. He didn't get to practice, so I would have liked to have seen them say, well, he did clear him. He obviously grazed him a little bit, but he got over him and got the dunk, so that would both be 50s and move on. And let's do another round, and maybe that would have broken the tie. Look, the judges didn't see it that way. Controversy again. Let's get to it a little bit here. 2 days removed, still questions. So remember on Jones' final dunk, he received a 48, but on Gordon's final dunk, he received a 47. And I want to look at the scoring here because if you see what happened had happened was...
Yeah, we saw what happened.
Right?
Yeah.
3 of the judges flipped. So we're going to get into it. Ramona Shelburne tried to get to the bottom of things. She tweeted, dunk contest judge Candace Parker, who gave Aaron Gordon a 10, said, I'm not throwing anyone under the bus, but check the scorecard. Dunk Contest comment says, I really felt like it was an even battle. We felt the score should be even and they should just have a judge off. We had the cards, put your card up for who had the best dunks. So that would have been a different way to handle it. Dwayne Wade had this to say to Complex because there was, of course, so many people who thought that he purposely tried to get a win for the Heat's Derek Jones Jr. He said, it wasn't biased. I got to the point where I wasn't the only one who gave a 9. Let's talk about that. 3 people gave a 9, of course, to Aaron Gordon. Wade also had a sense of humor about all of it, posting this GIF on Instagram that's gone viral with the captions, me reading through my comments like I was the only judge to give out a 9. He was not. So I just want to take a look here at the scores, okay? So, Dwayne Wade, as we see, he thought Aaron Gordon's jump over tackle fall was not as good as Derek Jones. Common said they were both the same. Now, Candace elevated her score for Aaron Gordon. So she picked Aaron Gordon over Derek Jones Jr. in that last thing. Chadwick Boseman, he was completely consistent. Scotty went from 10 to 9 as well. So that's where those differences go, and you can see who picked what and did what.
And this is why I'm the most upset out of the dunk contest at whoever in the league office thought it was a good idea to keep Dwayne as a judge with a former teammate. After the contest had been set, and you have Derek Jones Jr., a member of the Miami Heat, former teammate of Dwayne Wade.
I mean, I think it's TNT that has a heavy influence in that panel.
Then TNT, whoever it was, that's the person who all this anger and frustration should go towards. Because I don't blame Dwayne.
Right.
He was looking out for his guy. And the clip to me, and it floated all over the internet Saturday night, we all saw it, when everybody flashed the scores after Aaron Gordon jumped over Taco, Scotty and everybody else at that whole table looked straight at Dwayne, like, "Oh, what did you do?" Like there was an understanding. This is how we're going to score this. It's going to be tied. It's going to be over. They're going to split it. And everyone turns and looks at Dwayne like, "Uh-oh."
The only reason why I'm just curious about this whole we were going to have it be tied thing is that 3 people flipped their numbers. So it's not like one person messed up and didn't do the same numbers. 3 people flipped their numbers.
But I think there was an understanding of what was supposed to happen at that table.
So do you think the
and
judges
everybody instantly turns and looks at Dwayne Wade and goes, what?
Should we do this differently, Kendrick? One of the people involved suggested we just, one of the quotes I read saying, oh, they should just be a judge off, basically, where someone says, okay, in total, of all of the dunks tonight, do you think this guy is the dunk contest champion or that guy, and we could have all just put our cards up? Do you like that idea?
First of all, we already knew what the deal was, Rachel, with D. Wade, all right? We knew Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra, and Lonzo Mourning, they was going to have the mob people waiting for D. Wade back in Miami if he didn't vote Jones Jr. in. And listen, I'm with Wakanda forever. I'm with that. But we can't have him as a judge.
Right.
All right? So in my opinion, to me, the judges need to be former dunk contest winners because they're the only people that could actually judge those guys because they were in those moments. Like they were part of that, so they know the feeling. They know how it feels to go up there and be creative and stuff like that. So that's how I think you solve the problem. You put former winners, whether it's Nate Robinson, Zach LaVine. I don't care if you're still in the NBA. You put your former winners in there.
I like that. I like that idea a lot. Don't worry, we can talk about this dunk contest for a long time, and we're gonna. But coming up, we're also gonna talk about Ben Simmons. Had several interesting quotes over the weekend talking about how much he loves playing with Joel Embiid. Ooh. So, I don't know, sounds like a good topic for a game of BS and Real Talk coming up next on The Jump. Plus, here's what The Jump breakup ends for today. Brian Windhorst showing how this all-star game built on the inspiration of Kobe and David Stern and showed the power of basketball. Really nice piece from last night. Check it out on the ESPN app.